for the late night stream. Probably also not going to go super long tonight, but wanted to keep rolling here. Got the app launching right now. Realized in the last stream that I didn't have the logic in there for tracking throw-ins and actually finishing the hole. So we're going to get that added in here. Got a few too many files open at the moment. So let's close some of these out. Don't need main menu right now. Don't need this. Scoring options, I don't need. Probably just on round scorecard. I think so. All right. So, update throwing from, if throwing count is equal to 1, so this is going to be updating the throw count here. Hole completed options. So this might actually just be me needing to change, no, where's that? Scoring options, here we go. Just adding throw into this. Might be a little simple, but it might do the trick. Throw in, is that right? Yeah. All right, so let's just try that. Just that simple fix. In my mind, when I added that task to the to-do list last time, it was not going to be quite that simple, but maybe it will be. It's worth a shot. Let's go easy. Let's get a hole in just because, and then we'll go throw in. 3, 4. Okay, so it's adding 3 under, so the scoring is not quite working. But it is going to the next tee. It is adding the right hole. That didn't quite work. Let's hit a reset here. Where we are updating scoring. Update round score is equal to 0. Hole is less than current hole. Length minus 1. So when I add throw in, yeah, okay. Here, let's add the if statement if shot data. Well, I don't know if that's gonna work. Let me, because you can throw in on the first hole, which is acing, obviously, but on like a par 4, let's say like you land in the fairway and then it's a throw in. So let's try that here. Let's say that you throw in the fairway and then it's a throw in. So this should be a birdie. Our score should be 1 under. It's only 2 under. So it's really just going to be if it contains throw in. Yes. If shot data hole dot contains all labels so the reason I had this -1 in here is that for every time a user makes a putt, I'm saving basket, so I'm adding the word basket to the shot data, and then I'm adding the distance that they putt from. So I'm adding 2 separate things, the distance that they made the putt from. So 2 separate items. But that's only 1 shot. And so for every hole that ends with a putt inside of circle 2, this works. But if there's a throw in outside of that, it's 1 shot. I need to track it as 1. There's no distance made from currently to try and account for. So if the shot data on the hole contains throw-in, then yeah, we just got to add a stroke to it. So let's hit reset on this then and give that a try. And I'm thinking that might fix it. Start round, easy. All right, so this should be a 2 under. Yep. This should get us to 3 under. And then this should not change. Perfect. Okay. So now, is the hole over? Is round over? Hole completed option contains last hole shot data. Dot last. I guess here, let's look at this real quick. That ends the round. Now if I reset it and we throw in on the last hole, does that break something? Let's find out. Throw in, throw in, throw in, throw in, throw in, throw in. No, that worked. 0 is not right, but it worked. Round finished. How was I, where am I saving the round information? Let's go up to the scorecard here. So this is not working right now. Shot data, add. Where do we update the user hole scores? Here we go. Return user hole scores array. Is that down here at the bottom? It is. Okay. Okay, so this is that same same line of logic here that we need to add. Because these should all show 1 here, because they were all aces. I hit throw in on all of them, not 0. So that is this, that line of code there. Okay, so now throw in should work as intended. I am expecting that I get this test version done and we have some bugs to work through, which is fine. That's probably naturally going to happen anyways, and although I don't think I'm doing the best job of it trying to talk as I'm streaming, I don't think is helping me code cleanly. But we have logic for throw-ins now, so that's done. Undo button. So let's reset. Respond to this. All right. Where do I want that undo button to be? The question. Maybe just in the top right next to the back button. That's probably a fine spot for it for now. So let's do that. This will be a round finish. Let's go grab that main menu button. Like so. Go to our scorecard. Where's our back button? I'm on the right one, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, right here, row, children, spacer. Here. Let's add another size box here. Once it reloads, yeah. See if I like the way that looks. Undo. I don't need a width there. I don't need any of this actually. Let's just, no aligning. Let's just copy the button. A little slow this evening. There we go. Undo. Okay. On pressed. Set state. And we're going to need to undo the last stroke. So this can be a function. What to return here? Probably just the shot data is what I need to return, right? Did it hear me, or is it just a really good guesser? Hopefully it didn't hear me. We're not returning. We're undo last shot. Past shot data. Yeah, I think that probably works just fine. All right. So how are we undoing? Shot data, I don't add a new line until the current hole is over. Okay, so if let's go ahead that real quick. Undo is not going to show unless the shot data has a shot in it. If round information dot shot data is not empty, then we can show the button. Oh, brackets. Remember our last comment there. Copy paste this in. So this way we're not going to show the undo button unless the user has actually added one shot to the round. Perfect. Let's go back to our function. All right, so for starters, if they're on the T, so if the last shot registered in this shot data variable here is T, then we need to go back to the previous hole and have them enter in. This is going to get tricky. I want to skip past the popover menus for penalty or if shot data, let's just go int current hole. Oh, I don't even want that. Final last index is equal to shot data dot length minus 1. If shot data last index last is equal to all labels dot t. Here I need to actually return I'm gonna have to do it like this because I'm gonna have to update the whole number too. Int all labels T. Shot data should always match the current hole. Should. final current hole is equal to shot data dot length. Current hole oh, that was the issue. I was like, I think minus minus is right, but it's gonna be a variable. Otherwise I can't change it. All right, so with the last index is equal to all labels t. If they're teeing off, the current hole goes back. If it's anything other than that, scoring options, hole completed options, static, final, popover, inducing options is equal to all labels dot basket and all labels dot penalty. That's actually not what I want. I think what I want is what I already had. I may not need that. If shot data last index last, or no. If all labels dot whole completed options contains that, what is this? Go away. Then it's equal to t and shot data dot remove at last index. I'm going to remove it, and then last index is minus equal to 1. So then once we've removed that, so if they're on the T-pad of the next hole, then we delete that, we go to the previous hole. If they're not on the T-pad, then we just skip that block of code anyways. So regardless, we end up here. If the very last shot in the shot data is one of those whole completion options, then I want to remove at shot data last index, remove last. Otherwise, I'm going to do it again anyways. Dot remove last. And then return that. Yeah, I think so. It's a rough start, but that might be all right. When I update throwing from, update throw count, I'm passing the current shot data. So I can probably just call that function. I'll then need to update the options shown as well. So currently when I add a shot, we're checking if the current hole's over. We shouldn't need to run that check. Shouldn't need to check round is over. If it's not, then I'm updating the options. I'm updating the throw count. And that's it. I'm already returning the current hole. So what I'm going to need to do is run this function and then update these two. So let's copy these first. Let's go up to my undo button. And then here, let's add a undo last shot round information dot shot data. I don't think this is going to work initially, but I do think it's probably worth a try before I think about it too much. I probably need to do these streams a little earlier. I'm tired. Okay. Undo button is already showing, which is wrong. If round information dot shot data is not empty, is that because I already added to it? If round information shot data zero is not equal to null, operating can't be null. I agree, but you're telling me it's not empty. What if I do this? Print shot data, round information shot data. Like what is it when this view loads? Start round, easy. Confirm. How is that not empty? Like this is my printout for what that variable is equal to. That looks empty to me. Is the second set of brackets here what makes it not empty? I don't know. Zero dot is not empty. Maybe it's that. I want the button to go away. Nice. Okay. So the empty set of brackets is not technically considered empty. No undo button. If I add fairway, undo pops up. If I undo, yeah. I was like, I know I'm going to cause an issue there. Oh, I'm not even. No duh. Round information dot shot data is equal to. Shoot, how did I do that down here? I think I created a temp variable. I did. Okay, so this will be final new shot data, new current hole, round information shot data is equal to new shot data, round, or no, current hole is equal to new current hole. Because I think there was something weird about just trying to use those variables directly in this declaration. Like maybe it was just my lack of being able to figure it out, but let's try that now. I was running the undo function, but I was not actually updating the variable that's being displayed. I was just running the function. It was returning something, but what it was returning wasn't getting assigned anywhere. So, okay, so still no undo button. Fairway, undo. Still an error. Okay. Still no element. Round scoring 88. So right here. This is our issue. Current hole. Starting hole, current hole is equal to shot data, current hole minus 1. Dot last. Let's go here. Let's go print shot data. Just to get an idea of what we're returning here. Not what I meant to open. Let's start the round. Fairway. Undo. Alright, so up here, it didn't actually print the shot data. The hole is still there though. The hole is 1. No element. Okay, I needed this. I should just be printing an empty bracket again, right? Which is what I should already be starting on here. But the functions down below aren't running unless one shot has already been added. So it's not wanting to add. Shot data is blank, current hole is 1, so it's returning what I want it to. But 88. Throwing options, update options shown. New function, scoring options. Update option shown. String throwing from. It has to accept a string. Okay, so I don't think that's actually going to work. I don't have a string to pass there. So I think instead we'll have to go if round information dot shot data. I don't even need that variable. We can just go if new shot data is not empty. Else. Right? I guess what was I running when the hole's over? If the hole is over, update round score. If round is over this, else. If current hole is over, update the current score. And I was still doing this. Update. Current hole is equal to initial. I'm adding this first. All right, we'll figure this out. If it's not empty, if it is empty, throwing options is equal to scoring options, final driving. Let's do this here. I don't need this, but we can go static driving options is equal to fairway rough C1, C2, penalty, throw in, static final putting options is equal to C1, C2, fairway rough penalty. Okay. So driving here, you can get rid of these. All labels dot putting options, all labels dot driving options, and then that way I can also use them here. Labels driving options, throwing count is equal to 1. Okay, let's hit a reset. See if that does the trick. So I was not, prior to adding the Prior to adding the undo button, I was never calling those functions without at least one shot being registered by the user. Now that we're implementing the undo button, that is not the case. Still the same thing. Oh, because I never deleted these. Okay, take those two lines out. So I think that means that that just worked then. Because it got through this block of code before throwing the error on the line that I needed to just delete. Fairway, undo. Okay. Fairway, circle 1. Throwing 2 from the fairway. Undo. Okay, so let's try to finish a hole then. Throwing 1 from the tee. Okay, so we're working within a single hole. We're not working on undoing at the start of the new hole. No element, line 452. Come down to our undo function. Shot data, last index. So shot data has a length of 1. We make the length 2. Last index becomes 1. If shot data 1 dot last, so that's not working because there is actually no element there. I'm never saving t. So what we actually need is update throwing from. Update throwing from here. Throwing count. Okay. So some bad logic here. Instead of this, if shot data last index minus 1, if all labels dot whole completion options contains shot data last index minus 1, and it can't just be that, and shot, oh, I need my parentheses there, and shot data last index is empty. So it's going to be empty if we've completed a hole and have just started the next one, because we haven't added any shots to it yet. Why doesn't it like this? List string. Ah, last. Hit reset again. Okay. Oh. Start the round. All right, so, oh, that didn't work now. Hadn't I just checked that? Still the same thing. Okay, so this somehow broke it. If all labels, whole completed options contains shot data limit. Yep, okay. So current hole there is going to be 0 essentially because I haven't submitted one. So I think this line of code fixed it for all holes after the first one, but it broke it for if current hole is not equal to 1. Let's give that a quick try. Okay. Okay. All right, so that's back. Fairway, circle 1, basket made. Then we're going to undo, throwing 3 from circle 1. Seems like we're working now. Throw in. Scared for this one. Yeah, I knew the throw in was going to break it. 464, shot data last index, remove. Because it's hole completed. Oh. So we're still going to do this. We're still going to remove last. I have hole completed options. Contains that, and the next one's empty. We're going to go back to the first hole. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to reduce the last index. I can't remove it twice. That's the issue. Okay. All right, so and shot data last index dot last. So we have to account for the throw in here is not equal to all labels throw in. Yeah. Let's throw these in parentheses to make it a little cleaner. No, don't do that. Dot last and shot data. There we go. All right. So now I think that should fix every issue we have with the undo button. Let's go do a double check. Throw in, undo. That worked. Okay, so the only thing that we're not updating appropriately is the score. Update round score. So that is probably something I need to call. Here I'm only calling it if the current hole is over. So here we only need to call it if, I'm not really checking if I'm updating. Is there an issue with me doing that? I don't really think so. If new current hole is less than current hole. So I'm only going to run this if I'm actually changing the score. Score new current hole, and then we'll update it here. Okay, so let's go do a double check there and see if we're actually getting the score total to update, because in the middle of a hole we're never going to be changing the total score. Like here the score is easy, so no matter how many strokes we add, we're not updating a permanent score yet. But there were 2 over. If I undo, we're back to even. Perfect. Perfect. 1 down, 2 down, undo, take me back to 1 down. Oh, that didn't work. Okay. All right, so we were close there. The scoring's still a little bit off. Let's go get rid of some of these print statements and clear up our console. Those are fine. Don't need that. And then let's go to our update round score so we can see what's happening here. Print shot data, print hole pars, print current hole. What was that? Round score, hole strokes, For each hole is less kernel. Shot data contains throw-in. Okay, let's hit run on that real quick. Because it worked after the first hole, and then it ended up adding too many strokes when we were undoing from the third hole. If I undo here, shot data is C1. Oh, that's clearly not working. So we were at C1, basket, 11 feet. I removed those. I went back to the previous hole, so I did not actually want to update. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Because there's only one shot in there. How do I make that work? It has to do it for every hole that's not. For every hole that's not this one. Hole is less than current hole, which I can just make an incorrect number. So maybe it's as simple as if we're changing the hole, we run it. If we're running it, we're going to do it based on the new current hole minus 1. Because let's say we just start hole 3, we hit undo and we go back to hole 2. I do not want to include any shots still on hole 2 as a part of that score. So if we just finish hole 2, move on to hole 3, and then we hit undo, the only hole that I want to factor into the score is hole 1. When we return that function, new current hole is going to be 2, so I need to pass 1. Well, no, I should pass 2 there. I should just pass 2. Hole is less than current hole. No, I think I'm right there. All right, let's hit refresh and try this. I do think I want the minus 1, lower the index by 1 there. Start. Perfect. Another error. No element. Round scorecard 92. This. If new shot data is not empty. What was the problem? The score seemed to be updating. Let's go print new shot data. Print new current hole. Let's go down here. Let's get rid of these. See if we can see what was going on there. YouTube's telling me I got a viewer right now to actually have my first viewer for these streams. That'd be pretty fun. Start the round. Undo, undo, undo. That'll work there. Fairway C1 basket, C1 basket, undo. Now we get the error. All right. I forgot I had all these print statements in here. That's rough. Let's get rid of those. Let's get rid of this. Let's go back up. All right, so I hit undo, which takes us to current hole. It doesn't look like that worked at all. Let me go try that again. I got to follow along with these outputs a little bit better. Let's drag this up actually. All right, so I parred the first one, I birdied the second one. So here I hit undo. Our new shot data just has C1, which is correct. Current hole is 2. That's correct. If I hit undo again, that's where we get issues. So this one works as intended. When I hit it here, I'm removing this. New shot data should be taking all of that out though. Well, no, actually, this is returning the right values. Throwing options. If new shot data is 0, it's not empty. So instead of 0, this needs to be new shot data shot data length -1. Might have made it worse. Let's find out. C1 basket, go even, we undo, throwing one from the T, 3C1, yes, 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 perfect. Has me nervous, but it is, I think, working exactly as intended now. Throw in, undo, nice. Yeah, okay. I think the undo button is fully functional at this point. Looks like crap, but functional, so it's good. Still says 1 viewer. They may have left already. I don't think I can see that. All right. Undo button. It's functional. Saving round information. I think I'm going to save that one for another time. Whew. Went for maybe 40 minutes tonight. Pretty short. But I started too late. So good progress. There is more work to do. There's more than I was thinking there even was last time. I'm gonna have to capture things like, one thing I don't have here is, let's say you throw your first shot into circle 1 and then your next shot goes into circle 1. That means you missed a circle 1 putt. I want to track how far you missed it from. So adding options for missed putts is going to be another popover I need to incorporate. So let's add that task here. Go back. Incorporate additional popover to inquire about distances for missed putts. I need to save that information to the shot data, so that is probably going to screw up everything that I have here currently. But I have to track it. Have to track it. implement into the current workflow, and then fix all score keeping and throw updating functions accordingly. That'll be a big one. Probably be the first thing we do next time. But once I get this into place, I will probably call it there for today. If I did have someone hop on today, thanks for being here. Always welcome to use the chat. Anybody who finds this after the fact, you can leave comments, tune into additional streams. I was posting initially with some heads up as to when I was going to go live, but they just weren't. These aren't quite things that I can plan far enough in advance to make social media posts for them. I much prefer to just hop on. So if you subscribe to the channel, you get updates on that, but you don't need to. They're going to go live regardless. All will be viewable after the fact, but these are just a fun way for me to force myself to sit down, focus on coding for a little bit, document the process for building a new disc golf app from scratch. So that's the goal. Some progress today, but we'll keep it moving. Yeah, thanks again, and we'll